We'll officially start this building. You get up.
All rise part.
Oh, okay. I want to welcome everyone to our November 16th, 2017 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. Commissioner Castlen, would you lead us in a prayer and the pledge?
I will. Dear Heavenly Father, we pause for a moment to thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. We ask your blessing upon this community and upon the work we do. As Thanksgiving Day approaches, we're mindful of all the blessings that we enjoy in this country that other people of the world don't enjoy, and we thank you for those blessings. We pray for our neighbors who are in need, and especially those who are sick. And pray these things in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Jerry, are you ready?
I am.
Okay.
All right. Number one, consideration for presentation. A, the American Red Cross serving Western Kentucky for 100 years.
Whereas this year the American Red Cross of Western Kentucky celebrates their 100th year of service, and it is only right that we recognize them for the vital humanitarian role they play in our community as they organize caring members of the community who donate their time, talent, treasure, and blood to help ease suffering and save lives. And whereas the American Red Cross, supported by volunteers and in partnership with local and state agencies, care for our community when home fires, floods, winter storms, tornadoes, or other disasters strike with emergency assistance, including food, clothing, and shelter. And whereas the American Red Cross provides CPR, water, sheltering, and first aid safety training because they believe everyone should be prepared and have the confidence and skills to respond when the unexpected life-threatening emergencies arise. And whereas the American Red Cross collects blood and platelets for those most in need, and whereas they provide 24-hour support of our military personnel, veterans, and their families through a worldwide communications link so families and loved ones can keep in touch. Now therefore, I, Daviess County Judge Executive Al Mattingly, do hereby proclaim 2017 as the 100th year of service for the American Red Cross in Daviess County. Here to accept tonight, Pat Hardesty. Pat, come up here, take this. No, get over here. We have to shoot you. Want to say a few words. Oh, and by the way, all right, I'll leave it alone.
As a board member of the American Red Cross for the Western Kentucky Division, I'd like to thank the court for your support, and do know that we as an organization are very appreciative of your role and the role that you play for our community, and thank you for your support in this proclamation.
Okay. Very few people know that Pat served on the Owensboro Fire Department and now serves in the State Emergency Management.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So we're pretty proud of what he does. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Next item.
B, Owensboro-Daviess County Convention and Visitors Bureau update by Executive Director Mark Calitri.
Mark, welcome.
Very much.
If you would identify yourself, even though we know who you are, just let's do it for the people out there.
Yes, Mark Calitri, President of the Owensboro-Daviess County Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
I want to take a few moments just to give you a quick update on where we're at and the happenings at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I've had exciting years so far. Right now we're just making a little bit of a reset. We're resetting our staff, readjusting our budgets now that I've been here for 6 months. So we're going to be looking more towards the future. And part of that future is looking at booking more conventions and servicing those conventions, and also looking more towards digital marketing, not looking towards putting up the billboards here locally, advertising to our local folks, but let's try to bring more folks in. So we're going to go look to the future here very soon. So that's the plan, and continue to be a good steward of the money and talk about Davis County and Owensboro and all the good things going on. And I just had a nice conversation 2 days ago with the company that puts on our Kentucky Visitors Guide that goes all through Kentucky. And he said, Davis County and Owensboro is really in a catbird seat. I don't even know what that is. So I was on the phone, I looked them up, looked them up on Google, but it was an elevated position of authority and commanding respect. So that's somebody that runs the statewide advertising for all the cities. So it's kind of nice to have
Pretty
somebody
cool.
that's out there and about recognizing us. So I thought that was pretty important, and I learned a new word. Basically what we have to do at the CVB is, now that we have the new convention center, the new Highway 54 development, new Best Western's going to be opening here in the spring out on South Frederick. Just saw in the paper a new hotel on 54, and hopefully in the spring we'll have the new downtown hotel project moving along. So that puts a lot more pressure on us to develop our organization and keep selling, to keep those hotels full. So that's our plans for the future.
Okay, I know Commissioner Wathen, you're the liaison for the court. I'm going to let you speak here. I just want to tell everyone that since Mark's been on board, he's been working his rear end off, and I am happy with some of the staff that I think you're going to have an announcement here pretty soon about. So I appreciate everything you do. Certainly your primary focus would be to promote Davis County and Owensboro, but we also want to make sure that we are looking at a regional concept in that promotion, because sometimes some of the tournaments, as Commissioner Wathen would tell you, we had a ball tournament last year that took every hotel room in Owensboro, Davis County, and Evansville, as well as Ball Diamonds to put it on. So when you can work with your neighbors for the good of everyone, I think it's great. Commissioner Wathen?
I'll just mention that I used to be a member of the board before Mark got here, but I've stayed pretty close, and that's a really, you're lucky to have such a hard-working board, and Mark's fitting in real well in the community, and we appreciate you and appreciate all that you're doing and the thought that you're giving to the future. That's really what it's all about, and we talked the other day about getting everything in line and make sure we have good opening for the Bluegrass Museum and those kind of things, and appreciate the work you're doing.
And just for, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say we talked about this on your show the other night. I think sometimes the general public doesn't understand too that the work that you do, Judge, and the commissioners, but just like increasing the funding for the baseball fields. Small things like that not only help the local kids improve their quality of play, but it also helps us stay competitive. So that's some of the work that the commissioners are doing that really helps and makes our job a little bit easier.
And your board, Mark, 3 from the hotel industry. Is it 1 or 2 from the restaurant industry?
We have 1 from the restaurant and 1 from the chamber, and then 1 at large.
And then 2 at large.
Two at large, including 1 from the city.
County appoints 1, and the city appoints 1 at large to represent the general public. So I think we really got an excellent board. So thank you for what you do. Keep up the good work, and come back and see us next year.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item.
2, consideration for approval. A, minutes of the November 2nd, 2017 court meeting.
Motion approved. Second.
Have a motion second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Davis County Fiscal Court in your possession for a while. Do you have any questions for the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
C, fund transfers.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Hendricks.
Requesting authority to make the following fund transfers: $600,000 from the general fund to the jail fund, $400,000 from the general fund to the road fund, and $1 million from the general fund to the bond fund for the convention center. These are routine fund transfers. They were budgeted. I recommend approval.
Mr. Hendricks, I thought I asked you to take that jail fund transfer out. Oh, okay. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
D, County Clerk's claim for preparing the 2017 tax bills.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second, Mr. Hendricks.
One of the methods that the clerk has to fund that office is they're allowed to charge for the preparation of the tax bills. We do this annually. They did prepare 46,545 at 30 cents each. We would pay half of that bill, which would be $6,981.75. I recommend approval.
Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
E, Davis County Detention Center's updated policies and procedures manuals.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, tonight we are graced by the presence of Jailer Maglinger. Art, you want to come up and, if you would, just identify yourself and tell us what we're doing with this.
Arthur Maglinger with the Davis County Detention Center jailer. We had updated our policy procedures manual for this year, as well as our organizational chart. Hopefully everybody received their copies of that tonight. No major changes to report or anything like that.
We've got just a couple of new policies for the body scanner. That's something that we put in place last year.
Yes, Judge.
And then what is a wrap restraint policy? Is that where you
If
got an
somebody's-
unruly prisoner, and how you gonna handle that?
More or less to protect themselves too. If somebody's banging their head, trying to hurt themselves, they get monitored by a deputy, and then they're also under restraint, and they're checked by medical every so often as well.
I think commissioners, we go through this every year, just through the update, adding to and removing some of the things that are in there. Any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? Thank you, Art.
Thank you, Judge.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
F,
Jailer, you don't have to stay if you don't want.
F, MOA with Henderson County regarding emergency fire protection.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, yesterday I was at a Green River Ad meeting, and Judge Executive Brad Snyder from Henderson County asked if we would be able to provide them with emergency service during the closing of the Spotsville Bridge. They, in effect, are going to kind of cut off an island of eastern Henderson County. I said I had absolutely no problem, was sure that you guys would be okay. Just to make sure, I checked with Chief Smethers. He was okay with it and had already talked to the Stanley Fire Department. So we will be providing that emergency service, fire, and emergency response during, I think there are 2 weekends that it will be closed. You have a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding in your packet. Do you have any question or comment? Any question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Hope we don't have to respond. Next item.
G, renew bid number 4, 2017 with Action Pest Control for Mosquito Control Program.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge. The county is satisfied with Action Pest Control's work. I've had no complaints from citizens or the Public Works Department. We wish to renew for an additional term at the prior bid rate of $3,600 per month and $75 for additional treatments. I recommend approval.
Commissioners, any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? Mark, county engineer, handles those calls and kind of the logistics, right?
I do.
In my meeting with Davis County Health Department yesterday, we talked about, if you remember, everybody was concerned about the Zika virus, and that didn't come to anything. But we had a couple of cases of West Nile virus reported, West Nile. I don't think we had any in Davis County, but we did have traps set out. It showed some mosquitoes carrying that virus. I've suggested to the Davis County Health Executive that perhaps he get together with you and the city in the spring of next year and talk about a preventive plan of attack so that we don't have something like that hop up. So I'm just going to put you on notice. I'll try to remind you when you talk to Kevin Culligan, the city engineer, you might also tell him that he may be getting a call.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
How often do they spray? I know they have a kind of a route that they make, but
We have a pretty detailed list of how often areas get hit. For instance, Davis County parks, I think, are hit once every other week. Subdivisions, residential that have a history of mosquito call-ins, they get hit once a month. Now, they spray for us several times a week, but they get all the residential subdivisions on that list once a month. So we're constantly spraying, adding locations when necessary. So we've got a pretty comprehensive list. We went through it last year and looked at historical data of where we're getting all the calls from, did some field reviews, and I think we've got a pretty good program now where it's consistent. Had a lot fewer call-ins this year because I think we're trying, and I think we are staying on top of this.
Being proactive as opposed to reactive.
all right.
Okay. Any other question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
H, award bid number 41, 2017, Community Notification Siren, EMA.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion, second, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge, the fiscal court solicited bids for a new community notification siren in accordance with the Homeland Security Grant Program through the state of Kentucky. The installation will be at the Hines Group Incorporated in Philpott, Kentucky. The county will be reimbursed in full by the state post-installation. Fiscal court received 2 bids. Safer Services Corporation of Lexington, Kentucky is the lowest and best evaluated bid, having no exceptions to the bid documentation. The higher bid received did contain an exception. It should be noted that their completion date was 3 months past the required completion date of the grant. So we recommend award to Safer Services Corporation in the amount of $18,500.
Commissioners, as you are aware, Andy Ball, our EMA director, had applied for a grant, and for whatever reason, we didn't get the grant. This was some leftover money that Homeland Security had. You had to be real quick, get the grant in, and we must have the system installed and in place by December 31st, or we would have lost the grant. So I want to say thanks to Andy Ball for his effort, and we're going to replace one of those old sirens. Commissioner, I think Commissioner Wathen, were you with me when we were out there, or was it you, Commissioner Castlen? And I said, look at that. It was an old siren, yeah, in Philpott. So any other question or comment? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
3, consideration for appointment, A, Cathy Switzer to the Paradise Park Board, term 12/1/2017 to 12/1/2021.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, Ms. Switzer has served on that board for some time with us. She does a good job. I appreciate her agreeing to serve another term. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
B, Jamie Beisel and Jan Goldman to the Oasis Board, terms 12/1/2017 to 12/1/2020.
Move to approve. Second.
Commissioners, Jamie Beisel took over a term when we had a resignation and has served a partial term, and Jan Goldman has served one term. They have both done excellent jobs, and I'm sure they will continue to do so going forward. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
C, Chris Pannell and Suzanne Cecil White to the DC Extension District, terms 12/31/2017 to 12/31/2020.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, Chris Pannell is replacing Nathan Grant, who served 2 terms, and as a result, according to their bylaws, he must be replaced. I want to thank Chris for agreeing to serve. Suzanne Cecil White has served 1 term and has agreed to serve another. Suzanne does an excellent job. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
4, consideration for discussion. A, other business to be brought before Davis County Fiscal Court?
We have none, right?
None.
And we continue that streak. Next item.
B, public comments.
This is time during our meeting in which we ask the public to come forward, identify themselves or yourself, and you're welcome to speak on anything other than what's on the agenda. Next item.
C, comments by Davis County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Castlen.
Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. That's all.
Commissioner Watson.
I'll wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving as well.
And Commissioner Coger.
Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and also the Christmas parade is Saturday, so you can come out and you'll see us all there. Thank you.
Is it at 4?
4:30. I think you need to be there at 3. That's when they're. Same here. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I might comment that today our good friend up in Hancock County, as well as Jack McCaslin, the Hancock County judge, and a lot of other folks were present for the dedication of the Alaris plant. I think, David, that was a $350 million expansion, 250 jobs. The best I remember, it takes that plant up to 900 jobs. They are all good paying jobs. Commissioner Castlen, go home and give Daniel another $1 because I'm going to use Daniel. Commissioner Castlen's son went to OCTC, got a degree, associate's degree in electricity, worked here locally for a while, and then went up there and took a job in maintenance, making a gazillion dollars, or at least that's what Daniel said. It just shows you what is available in this community and what's available through our community college. I think our high schools, community college, and the other 4-year institutions are understanding that there are a lot of good jobs out there in the trades that folks can do. I would caution everybody. It's funny, in my private business, I always had to talk with them at this time of year. And I see our deputy back here in the back. She'll verify what I'm about to say. Art, on the police force, you would see that this time of year. There are leaves all over the street. When it rains and those leaves get wet, it's just like having ice. And when you go up to an intersection and apply your brakes, be awfully careful. And when kids are out in the streets going home from school, and it really gets dark sometimes when they're walking, you've got to be extremely careful. So we want everyone to be able to enjoy the upcoming holidays and from their own home, not from the hospital.
Amen.
So if there's no other business to be brought forward, Davis County Fiscal Court, without exception, we're adjourned.